What up, people? What's good? Salute.
Yes, sir.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Salute to the tribe. We're hip hop and comics and hip hop. We're a niche channel. And reserved for the best is super dope. I do sell comics. Check me out on Instagram at 6th_element_comic. Good afternoon, y'all. It is 6th Element of Hip Hop. Y'all already know. I'm your host, Reno Noir. This is our co-host, Stu Dog. What's up, Stu?
Peace.
Plug in my backlight. Hold on. Come here. God damn it. God damn it. Thing is stuck under the rug. Shit. Fucking ass. Fucking
I
hell,
was
man.
having technical difficulties right now.
All right, we got that. Super classy. All right. So what's up, guys? Peace to the chat. Salute to everybody that's come to hang out, and we got some things to tell y'all, some news, some information to talk about. What we just watched, dude. We just watched Stranger Things, the finale. Crazy shit.
It's good.
It's good shit.
It was good.
We have the Rings of Power spinoff show coming in the building. Mr. Pito, I don't know about that. Mr. Pito, you look kind of suspect, buddy. But welcome to the show. I hope you enjoy it. Try to keep the sex tone down in the chat. But yeah, man, we got some good things to show y'all. Some good things to talk about. Stranger Things finale. Season 4 finale recap. Who died? What does it mean for season 5? What? You can stop holding your breath, guys. Spoiler alert. Okay, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna get into it. So if you haven't seen it yet, watch the replay. Upon the replay. Okay, so spoiler alert. You can stop holding your breath, guys. Steve didn't die. Okay. I know we all thought he was gonna die the way they left it. The final two
I love the way it ended. I love the way it ended, man.
It was great.
It was great, bro.
They did the finale was they went 7 episodes and then they did a hiatus, little break, and then came back for episodes 8 and 9, which was cool because episodes 8 and 9 were 2 hours each. So it was like getting 4 more episodes. And like I said, the final 2 episodes of season 4 sent fans into a frenzy of uncertainty whether their favorite character will live to see another season. Fans of Steve, Robin, and Dustin can now breathe a sigh of relief for the 5th and final season, because those were the big picks for who they thought would die this finale. But the same unfortunately cannot be said for lovers of Eddie Munson. Eddie the Banished, the free-spirited, unapologetic leader of the Hellfire Club that fans impulsively cherished since the season premiere, in a heroic effort to distract the Demogorgon's bats so his friends could kill Vecna. Eddie meets his demise after being brutally murdered in the Upside Down. Justin screaming at the loss of his friend and idol moments after Eddie told him never to change. Made the scene all the more heartbreaking. And Dustin tells Eddie's uncle that his son died a hero and stayed true to himself, which was mad touching. And Dustin, I gotta say, that kid, he can act. I believed him. He was really crying. And then Max, Sadie Sink, came close to joining Eddie in the afterlife after being possessed and nearly killed by Vecna. When her arm went pap, I was like, oh shit. Leg went crack. Oh hell no. Other leg, boom. And the arm, and I was like, okay. They're gonna break her limbs, but they're not gonna kill her. And I was right. She's all quadriplegic, but she's alive. She was blind, and I was like, oh, nice. So we're gonna do the 80s trope of the blind warrior, right? The the 80s trope of the what's his name? Blind Fury, right? You're gonna give her a sword cane and she's gonna be she's gonna be blind and she's gonna pull out her sword cane and cut fools. That would have been dope. So we don't know. Maybe they'll go that way. Who knows? But showrunners Matt and Ross Duffer, who wrote and directed both episodes, temporarily convinced fans that Max is dead as Lucas shrieks and holds her, twisted body, and he kills it too. The young man that plays Lucas, very convincing. More convincing than him whooping on the football guy. But after Max's heart stops beating for a minute, even Millie Bobby Brown uses her powers to bring Max back to life. I said even, I meant 11. And then the end of episode 8 includes the death of 11's twisted papa, aka Dr. Martin Brenner, by the great Matthew Modine, who is shot repeatedly by military soldiers sent to kill 11, who eventually kills them by crashing their helicopter to the ground.
Yes.
Fucking Star Killer style, right? Oh, that
Yeah.
was Star Killer style. Darth Vader bringing down the the ship on Obi-Wan, like that was epic. Really cool. And then after realizing she's supposed to be the fourth victim to open the gate from the upside down to Hawkins, Max volunteers to be the bait for Vecna. She takes off her headphones, right? Because remember, she's playing that damn song over and over in her head by Kate Bush, which I would have been sick of like the second play. But poor thing, she's got to listen to that song. She takes it off so that he can possess her mind while Nancy, Steve, and Robin try to burn his body.
Well,
In
it's
the
either that or Nickelback. Take your
yeah,
choice.
ooh, mm. I think
Take your choice.
I'll take Kate Bush over Nickelback.
Exactly. Exactly. So Kate Bush ain't that bad.
No. Yeah, and then 11 helps Max by fighting Vecna in the Upside Down. Remember, she goes into her mind, and then from in her mind goes to his mind. It was dope. It was some real Professor X type shit. Um, they took her to the pizza shop and put the big bag of salt in the tub, and she's floating, and she's doing the whole deprivation tank thing. She goes into Max's mind so that they can fight Vecna together. You have the Surfer Boy pizza restaurant across country that Mike and Will and Jonathan and Argyle take her to. And to make matters worse, you got Jason threatens to ruin the plan by holding Lucas at gunpoint and demanding to wake up Max. This guy is out of his mind. That kid, did you hate him as much as I did, Stu? I really hated that kid.
Couldn't stand him, bro.
Fuck.
He was a douche. He's a real douche.
Really
Yeah.
was. Really a piece of shit.
Real D-hole. Real D-hole.
Real D-hole.
You know, he kept talking about his girlfriend. Oh, she wouldn't have did that. How do you know what she wouldn't have done? I mean, come on.
Man. You know what I'm saying?
Anybody got to live in his
Yeah.
shadow? Come on. And you know what? That's what probably drove her towards Vecna anyway.
Yeah,
I mean, he drove her crazy. Yeah, he drove her crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He drove her into the arms of 7 other drugs. You know. But yeah, you got and then convinced that all the killings that are going on are related to Lucas and the Hellfire Club. Jason, tries to stop, and then he just, he whoops the shit out of Lucas. Poor Lucas, he's a little guy. Jason's a big jock, kind of fool, and Lucas has got nothing coming. He gets whooped on, and of course, a la 80s protagonist, Lucas gets his Hulk Hogan strength and just, whoops on and knocks him down. And the yeah, it reminded me of
80s power.
his
80s power.
Right.
Yeah, because we did that in the 80s.
Yeah.
You just needed something to just to click the switch on, and then you just
right.
After that, there was nothing you couldn't do.
Nah, I mean, you could literally be taking the beating of a lifetime. I mean, you're just beaten to pulp. There's not much left. You're pretty much done, and then just out of nowhere, you get this super strength.
Yeah,
and
you got to be inspired, though. You have to be inspired.
Right. Right. You
You
gotta.
don't have any inspiration. It's like Popeye eating spinach.
Right.
I
You
mean,
gotta, and that
you
can be a
need your you need
memory.
yeah, you need your mental spinach, and then you can do whatever. You can't
Yeah.
be beat. And the
And yeah,
last dragon, and the last dragon, it helped Leroy get the glove.
that's right.
It
That's
helped
right.
Rocky beat Apollo Creed and
Always.
Ivan Drago
Always. Um,
and Clubber Lang.
Clubber Lang and Hot Lips,
Yeah. Thunder Lips. Thunder
Thunder Lips,
Lips. It
Thunder
helped him
Lips.
beat Thunder Lips. Yeah, I mean the list goes on and on. You know,
It
you need
does.
your mental spinach in the '80s. People don't
Yeah.
have mental spinach anymore. They don't have mental spinach. I don't know what they have now, but that's why they lose a lot.
Yeah. Now they have kale. Uh-huh. Now they have kale.
That's what they got killed now.
They got Legion. What up?
Legion, what up?
Uh, okay, Mr. Pito says that's just how he looks, man. It's just how he looks. No, just fucking with you, bro. Black and Critical was good. Slade in the building. It was DOPE Slade. It was. You are one more than quintessence. I thought it was clever. By I don't know what it means. There are a lot of questions that need to be answered, guys. There are, especially now. Because there's a new season coming. Like, listen, I think a lot of people didn't know that. They for some reason thought this was the final season. It's not. This is just like very much like Vecna told 11. This is just the beginning of the end. That's what he told her. And but Vecna almost defeats 11, right? Trapping her and forcing her to watch as he, tries to kill Max. But Will's words, right, of belief and vulnerability enable 11 to triumph. I mean, she gets her second win, her 80s power from Matt from Mike. Mike's giving Mike, because remember Mike's the heart, right? He's giving her he's using his valor power. Dungeons and Dragons role playing game power. He's using the valor or whatever it is that gives the party a boost,
He
right?
had the
That's it.
coat of arms. Yeah, he had the
Yeah.
coat of arms, and he was
Mhm.
the knight with the shield with the coat of arms, and the symbol of it was a heart. Was a heart. That
Right.
was his weapon. So he
Right.
was the shield, and the
Right.
shield is the strongest part. So
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. He's the tank. And Will's painting was not like I thought. I thought it was gonna be, kind of like the painting of Vince Vaughn in Wedding Crashers when the brother paints Vince Vaughn sort of naked with like a maple leaf over his junk. He's just like, yeah, I thought Will was gonna do something like that about Mike because we find out that what we all suspected, Will is clearly head over heels in love with Mike, painfully because he knows Mike is not homosexual. He's in love with 11. There is no possible chance in hell, and so his heart's broken. Uh, you know, and then meanwhile in the Russian prison, you got Hopper, right? And man, one of the coolest parts of the fucking whole entire show of any season, of any episode, was when Hopper picks up the Conan sword and slays the
yeah,
fuck.
go slays the dragon. Yeah, slay the demigorgon.
I was like, Conan the Barbarian. That was the Conan the Barbarian sword. That's the actual sword that Conan uses in the 80s movie. And then Enzo and Yuri, right? They rescue Hopper and Joyce with that fucked up helicopter. And it's worth mentioning Murray scorched multiple demigorgons with the flamethrower. He kind of saved the day. Murray comes in and just dumps on him, giving Hopper the chance to that's
Slice
why
him up.
that's why Hopper was a, because let's be honest, Hopper, sword, Demigorgon, Hopper's in many pieces. But the Demigorgon is burned to a crisp. He's half alive, and it sort of gave the the made it possible for Hopper to be able to kill him. Mango, what's good? It's Plato's Fifth Element. Do keep up. Oh, Fifth Element, Sixth Element, got you. Hey, no, man, you're welcome, brother. Honestly, man, I don't know what this was when you said sextessence. Now
Well,
I
the
get
last
it.
compliment he gave, well, the last one he gave you was sort of a compliment.
Well, he said quintessence. Quintessence. That's five. That's the five element. Sextessence is six, the sixth element.
Well,
Get it?
quintessence could mean something beautiful or pretty as well.
Yeah, but what he's saying is he's talking about the fifth element. He's saying quint,
He's saying,
sex,
oh, he's
sextet.
saying, do keep, oh, he's saying, do keep up. Oh,
Yeah, keep it up. Do
well,
keep
let's
up.
keep up with this. Let's keep up with this.
Yeah,
This here is the six elements of hip hop.
that's right.
And the six element of hip hop, we're not referring to the periodic chart of elements, but this is a play on the periodic chart of elements.
Right.
Hence the words S and E with the six to the
With
six
six,
S to the six power at the top.
yeah.
Now, if you have some other witty banter that you wish to interject into our sixth element NFT there at the top, you are more than welcome to come on to the show and let us have verbal pap together. Until then, we will continue to move
Verbal
on with
pap.
the show and stay on topic with each other. You are welcome to stay and watch and
That's
stay
right.
on topic with the rest of us. But had you not seen Stranger Things as the rest of us have, it would be nice if you would just listen and comment peacefully.
And learn.
You
Learn.
know, would you please?
Season 4 ends with Hawkins enduring mass destruction caused by Vecna's gate to the upside down, right? So we know Vecna's opening the gate, and we've seen him. We've seen the gates on the walls, right? The small kind of gate. We even saw that big, massive gate sort of at the end of the other seasons. But these gates are, blocks long, right? Blocks wide, streets, crossroads. It's the whole town is opening up, and the upside down is coming out, and it's sort of making the our 616 universe, right, of Hawkins is starting to rain ash or whatever that stuff is always floating around the upside down. And so it's starting to become like the upside down in the real world. The characters see the particles floating, the flowers in the fields dying, the dark clouds, the red lightning consuming the town as Vecna succeeds at opening the gate. With a death toll of 22, hospitals flooded, and many residents still missing, it's clear characters are in for one last wild ride for the final season, guys. It is coming, and it's going to be epic. Max remains in a coma, surrounded by friends. The doctors are unsure if she'll ever wake up again. 11 grabs her hand and appears to try to communicate telepathically. Yet, with her technically still living, fans can hopefully see her wake up in season 5. During Mike and Will's conversation, Mike says 11 isn't used to losing the way she did with Vecna, and Will informs him that she will have another chance. Now that I'm here in Hawkins, I can feel him, and he's hurt. He's hurting, but he's still alive, Will tells Mike. He says he's not going to stop ever, not until he's taken everything and everyone. We have to kill him. The final season will likely show 11 and the rest of the characters attempting to defeat Vecna for good with a clear understanding of who he is and his weaknesses. Because unlike the previous 3 seasons, which end with most of the characters oblivious to the next season's conflict, season 4's cliffhanger promises us as fans that a climactic final installment is sure to ensue, and hopefully the residents of Hawkins will have peace in the end, but not before a lot more destruction. It is the first time that we've ever seen that the kids have ever known who they're up against, what they're up against, what it's about, why it's there, how maybe they can defeat it, and things like that. Because before they had no idea. I mean, now we even know that the mind flayer, the big spider thing, is Vecna with his obsession with spiders, and he, made the big thing out of the big thing, and that's him. So it's all been Vecna. I was under the impression
That was dope the way they did that.
that was
Yeah,
that
because
was
it was actually the particles. He had
right.
manipulated particles to look like you know I thought that was dope. I did. I thought it was so dope.
Yeah. Mr. Mr. Pumiles. Uh, no, a demigorgon is not the same thing as a demiurge. Demigorgon is the Dungeons and Dragons name for a creature that the kids encounter in Stranger Things, and it's just a name that they give it because it's sort of something that they can relate to from Dungeons and Dragons. Much like Vecna is a character from Dungeons and Dragons. The Mind Flayer is a character from Dungeons and Dragons. These are all Dungeons and Dragons names for monsters and creatures. The Demiurge is I don't know. I don't know really how the Demiurge is what. That's like no, I'm thinking of the Demimonde. And
Digimon.
no, Demimonde is like the sort of kind of like what the Upside Down is. It's like another sort of realm. Um, in occult stuff. But the demiurge is being responsible for the creation of the universe. That's sort of God, like the creator. So very different. Demigorgon is just a mindless monster. Uh, but yeah, this season is it does open up a lot of new questions, but it was so
Definitely.
epic. It caused Netflix to crash, reportedly. For I guess,
You think the kids are having this much?
I doubt it. Whatever sort of thing that or I guess I didn't see it, but apparently it crashed. Netflix dropped part 2 of the latest season Friday, weeks after dropping the first. Blah, blah. The first part includes 7 blah blah blah. Once the episodes hit the stream platform at 3 a.m., many users took to social media to complain Netflix had crashed. Some of the things where anyone's else Netflix crashed. I'm assuming too many people online waiting for volume 2. One user wrote, I know y'all did not just make Netflix crash. Another one wrote, I did not just count down the seconds like it's New Year's Eve for Netflix to crash.
Well, with Netflix, Reno, a lot of people share their Netflix. So like, what they'll
Yeah,
do is, like if me and you get together, and I'll say, well, I'll pay half the year, you
right.
pay the other half, and then we just log on and or somebody, I
Or
don't
like
know.
my
A lot of
son
people,
gives the fucking login to all our streamings to his friends.
right. A lot of people share Netflix. That's why Netflix lost a lot of customers because they were getting ready to crack down. They were
Mhm.
being corporately greedy, and they
Yeah.
figured, well, if we have 10 million users, and let's just say 3 million of those users are sharing Netflix,
Mm.
hell, we can get them all to get a Netflix subscription and make double the money.
No, Black and Critical. I was not upset because I knew, we knew that that's what it was going to be. But the 2 episodes,
Black and
to be
critical, I
fair,
was, man. I
well, the 2
was like
episodes,
only because it was so damn good. I
right?
just wanted you just gotta give me some more. Give me some more and then you can,
Yeah,
Or if they would have just chopped it up. They could
yeah.
have fooled me too and just chopped it, pan to chop, and just chop, 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 chop.
Well, that's the
Just
thing.
chopped
Like
it up
I
into
knew it
four
was
episodes.
coming. I knew it was going to be 2 episodes, so I wasn't pissed. But they were 2 2-hour episodes, so technically it was like getting 4 episodes.
Right.
So, like Stu said, they could have chopped it up. They could have made it 8, 9, 10, and 11. But
Yeah, it could have fooled me. And I would have probably been a little better. But I can't I wasn't pissed, I just wanted more. I can't
yeah,
say I just wanted more,
yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Yeah, he
I
did.
got
Eddie
a
did.
question.
Yeah,
Hold on, let me.
He did. Eddie, yeah, Eddie. I liked the Eddie towards the end. I did
Yeah,
like Eddie towards the end.
yeah, yeah. No, Eddie was dope. Thanks for answering your sub creator. You got it. Ba 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 ba. They did Eddie dirty. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
And see,
yeah.
Eddie was Eddie. I kind of going with that. I've been able to predict everything from this show because it's all 80s tropes. So like everything that's come up, I've been like, oh, this is what's gonna because I'm just going back in my mind to my compartment of 80s rules, right? Because all 80s movies had similar rules, like shit you could sort of predict. They're very predictable. Movies were getting very predictable, TV shows, very predictable. Um, And so when they give you a new character and make him so lovable, you can bet that this guy's gonna die because he's not from the main group, right? Because they don't want to kill a main character, so they have to give us a new character. But the thing is, like I was talking to Stu earlier, they have to make us care about this character first, because they could just bring in a new character, you don't care about him, and then he dies. Okay, so what? But they bring in this new character, make you love him, so that they can kill someone that's not important to the story. They're not a main character, but you're gonna care like it was a main character. That's what Eddie was, and so I kind of knew. Also, Max, I thought Max was gonna die because she was brought in season 2. She's not part of the main group. She's kind of a auxiliary character, and they've made us care about her for 2 whole seasons. So if she died, it would be really strong, but again, it wouldn't be the main group of kids. But Eddie, they made us care about Eddie, and he did go out like a hero. And I fucking dug the shit out of that, dude. That they played Master of Puppets. I mean,
Yeah, that was
I
dope.
I don't
That was
know,
dope.
like, I don't know a whole hell of a lot about 80s Metallica. The only Metallica I really know well is that Black Album with Enter Sandman and Unforgiven. That was just dope. But 80s Metallica or any other Metallica besides that album, I don't know a whole lot about. But I do know that Master of Puppets is considered one of the harder songs to play on the guitar. Like for electric guitarists, like you got to be skilled to be able to pull it off. So not
This is
only did
true.
not only did the song have that energy that we wanted to have, and that sort of that metal, because the whole thing was like the album cover of an 80s metal record. The whole scene was like straight off the album of like an Iron Maiden album cover or something. And so it was very, very metal, but it was also showing us that Eddie is not just, you know, like he's got skills on the axe. Like like he was killing it. And then the whole little solo joint at the end. So really cool that they had him do that song. That was super epic. And yeah, he did. He went out like a hero because he wanted to uh he wanted to redeem himself for feeling like he ran away as a little kid. I
And
think.
when the girl died, and when
Yeah,
the other when the chick died, Eddie took off, man. I don't blame him. I mean,
hey,
there's no shame in that. Shaggy and Scooby ran all the time. You know what I mean?
they
And
did.
they never felt bad about it either.
No,
So, you got to look at it like that, Eddie. You got to be like Shag and Scoob. You got to run and can't feel bad about
that's right. Over here, gangway. Um, Eddie, you treat me like animal. So, uh, the the title of our this video is Stranger Things and Power Rings, because I also wanted to talk about this new Lord of the Rings show called The Rings of Power that is apparently not a show, but it is a show. Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power promises to be one of the biggest shows of the summer, of any summer. Amazon is spending a dragon's hoard worth of money on this thing, over $1 billion,
it.
if
So we
everything goes.
spending. So this is going to be the equivalent to the treasure that Smaug was sitting on under the mountain.
Right. If he was sitting on a bill, then this is a Smaug treasure. In fact,
Wow.
it might even be hard to call this TV, because this is one of the biggest swings in history of TV. And that seems to be the feeling of J.A. Bayona, the one of the showrunners of the series. Rings of Power is not television, he told Empire. It's a form. He said it's a new form we're creating here. Now, on the level, That's a silly thing to say. But The Rings of Power has 8 episodes. It has seasons. It tells a serialized story with characters who return week after week. It's TV. But on the other hand, I kind of get it because the lines between TV and movies have been blurring more and more as of late. You know, ever since Sopranos, TV shows have now 2 types. There's what I call network TV, and then there's cable TV. Network TV is the every channel that's not a premium. Cable TV, that's your HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, premium channels. Because they make what's called, high-end scripted television. There are episodes of Game of Thrones that depict battles as epic as anything you've ever seen in the movies, and the upcoming finale of the recently watched finale of Stranger Things season 4 is a staggering 2.5 hours long, but it's not TV. I mean, it's TV, but it's not TV like most folks have ever known it. And The Rings of Power is playing on this same playground. Bayona is directing the first 2 episodes of the series and will be working alongside showrunners J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay to bring the Rings of Power to life. They said the siege at Helm's Deep is so iconic and amazing that it was like, what's a different thing that we can do that still feels like Middle Earth but is unique for our story. The show has a lot of action in it, more so than any television or streaming show that we've seen. Every episode has set pieces, creatures, battles, white-knuckled fights to the death. But instead of having 10,000 orcs fighting 10,000 men, what's it like to have one orc in your face in your kitchen? What's it like trying to kill an orc when you've never killed an orc before?
Interesting.
Yeah. So I think it'll be interesting. I think it will. I think it'll be quite good. I know a lot of people have no hope. They're not.
Well, we don't. I mean, we got what we got with Peter Jackson, and he seems to be the master of that genre, and we're okay with that. Amazon, on the other hand, I mean, how much more story can you tell? I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. There's
a lot. There's a
I mean,
whole.
there's a lot that they miss.
Well,
And
no,
there's a
from
lot that they
everyone
tell,
from
but
other
then there's a
ages.
lot that no,
That's what
I
I'm
mean
saying.
you're right. No, I
There's
mean you're
whole
right,
other
but I'm just
ages.
saying
Yeah.
like, but from the main story that everybody wants to hear, we're saying
Yeah. This is
that
not
what
from
it
the main
is.
story at all. This ain't got
Then
nothing
that's
to
the
do
and
with
that's the and that's
Frodo.
the problem. And
Yeah.
that's the problem. That's the problem. A lot of people are like, look, what we saw with the main story was we got it, we liked it.
Yeah.
If you bring us something else and it's not that great, all we're gonna sit back and say is we told you so. And we're
Yeah.
gonna say that's why they never made a movie about this. Like, look at it like this: that Kathleen Kennedy script that she wrote for Obi-Wan and then tried to pass it off as an Obi-Wan show, a limited series. Once we
Mhm.
saw the Obi-Wan show, a lot of that script made it into that series, and it was bad. And nobody wanted to produce it for a reason, because it was bad, because it just didn't matter. It just didn't make you care. It was too
Yeah.
much about one thing and not enough about another. And that's what people don't want. They don't want to watch a Lord of the Rings series that's like that. That's just about something that they just don't care about. Like,
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
I do.
I mean,
I can't wait personally because I love all that shit. I love all that Lord of the Rings shit. I love the peripheral shit that we only hear about. See, like that's what I loved about Star Wars Legends, Star Wars novels and comic books and animated shows. The whole point for all those animated shows and novels and comics and all that shit is to show us the stuff that was mentioned or hinted at or described slightly in the movies that we love. And there's all this peripheral shit or history or side stuff or all of that we never get to see. That's the kind of stuff I'm interested in. And there's a lot of people that are interested in that kind of stuff. That's why the books are so successful, the comics, the video games, the old Republic stuff, all of that stuff. Even when you go back to the Jedi stuff, the stuff before the old Republic, the discovery of the Force and all that stuff. it's cool because you get to see something that you've only imagined or thought about from the movies. And with Lord of the Rings, with J.R. Tolkien, period, there's his stuff, the way he writes is almost like a textbook. His novels are almost like a textbook, like a history book. They aren't just dialogue and stuff like that. They're historical records, they're descriptions, long I mean, there's like a whole chapter describing a sword. Like he was very much into lore and mythology and the peripheral stuff that's outside of the main story. So anybody that reads those novels or is a fan of Tolkien is gonna totally be into this. But fans of just the movies that didn't read the books and don't really understand Tolkien and all that, they're just like, okay, but I don't know. This isn't where's Frodo? Where's Bilbo? They don't realize that there's so much more to Tolkien's
Yeah,
word.
I would have been more happy had you gave us the War from the First Age, or the Isildur, and the rest. That would have been dope for me. They would have did that
Yeah, yeah.
because
Well,
we
that's
never got a movie on that, so we never saw that.
yeah. This is taking place. So in the very opening of Lord of the Rings, where you see them fighting and cutting off Sauron's fingers and all of that, this is all the stuff that leads up to and is part of that war and that age. Um, let's see what Mr. Pui Miles is talking about. New
For
form.
children.
Cheerful fantasy is the creation of a new form wherein man become creator, cooperates with God. Miss May's Ward quoted in Tolkien on Fairy Stories 2008. There they are. Uh yeah, that's pretty cool. So it's kind of like a parallel there. Maybe he didn't even know that he was quoting 1937 Tolkien. But yeah, it's, new form as in basically what he's saying is that it's not TV, it's not a movie, it's a new form of media that we're creating. And I would call it serialized cinema. That's kind of what I call it
That's,
because it's
that's strong, man.
you like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of strong, yeah.
Yeah. Serialized cinema because it's yeah, because it's like a movie, but it's like a bunch of episodes of a movie. What about what to be that's guy but what to be that's guy but correction. This new Ring show is almost its very own thing. Amazing only has rights to the original films and had to create their own prequels. That's why so many Lord of the Rings fans are pissed about this one. Yeah, and
They are.
another
They
big
are.
reason, and this is see another big reason, and it is the biggest reason, and it's just like the Marvel shit and the Star Wars shit. There's the white supremacist, or I'm not a racist, but I for some reason have a problem with black people in my fantasy. So but that's really what they're mad about. Just like you have, a whole group of fandom that's doesn't like the diversity and equality push that Marvel and uh Star Wars get from Disney. They complain that this Power of the Ring show is gonna be a diversity SJW fest.
Hmm.
They feel like it's just gonna be all about, putting different races and different people, different, types of people on screen and stuff like that. And so, and listen, we talk about it all the time. There's something to be said for the overkill of certain politics and subjects that have been creeping or not creeping, kicking the door in media, different forms of media, fiction. And but at the same time, there's also something to be said for the fact that media fiction has always been about some white male protagonist. I mean, there's always some white male protagonist in most of these stories because most of these stories are written by white males or had been. And now obviously that's changing. It should change naturally. It should be, I mean, I see you nodding your head there, Stu. It should be organic. It should be, we have black,
Believable. It should
yeah,
be believable. It should be
believe,
like if you try hard to make it happen, you can tell, and then it doesn't seem right, and then it doesn't translate well. But if you do it naturally and just I don't know, like I don't like Star Trek. Star Trek's a perfect example. Um, the bridge crew of the original series is very diverse. Um, when you move to Next Generation, same thing. Then you get to Discovery. I mean, Enterprise and Voyager, same thing. But then you get to these new shows, Discovery. Half the bridge crew was female and
right,
gay, and the other half of the ship was gay. And
right.
so people were like, "Well, listen, that's kind of unrealistic." CBS had to literally stop and let the producers and the writers know that is unrealistic.
Yeah,
So they wrote characters off, removed characters from the show, brought in new characters, made it more realistic, made it more of the values and propaganda that Gene Roddenberry. Because when Gene Roddenberry wrote Star Trek, he meant for it to be diverse. He meant
right,
for it to be realistic. Like
right.
he was like, there's no way you're gonna have a spaceship full of people from Earth and everybody on it is white and
Yeah,
nobody on it is
or
Korean
gay, or
or
men, or
gay,
female.
right? Right. No
And
females, no nothing. So he purposefully had a very diverse, like the original Doctor on the Enterprise. He was from Africa. He was African. The
mhm,
original Doctor before
mhm,
McCoy got on there.
mhm,
Before McCoy got on the Enterprise.
mhm,
Um, most of the bridge crew on the original on the Enterprise before Kirk took over were females. So you had number one. She was second in command. Spock was on the Enterprise for a long time because he can live as long as he's a damn Vulcan. Uhura, she was African American. She was on the bridge. She
right.
was part of the senior staff. I mean, the list goes on and on. The chief engineer was Scottish, straight Scottish. He was in.
Yeah, they were always different. And that's the thing, same thing with Marvel, or should I say Stan Lee and George Lucas. They both set out to make their stuff diverse. I mean, that's what the X-Men was all about, Black Panther, all of that. Star Wars always had strong females, people of color, and that shit came out in the 70s. So, but Legion says it very well. Story matters, but representation also matters. The writers that can find the balance are the talent, and there's very little talent at certain companies. Whole lot of effort, no talent. Diversity is not the problem. It's these weak stories Marvel and DC are producing. Manga or anime seems to have diversity with dope stories.
This is true.
Right. Exactly. And it's not that diversity is the problem. It's the problem is that they're negating story for diversity. They're not caring about the story as long as there's
No,
representation.
the right representation,
It
right?
doesn't.
And like I said, that's not.
Sada, where you
Uh,
at?
agree back and critical, yeah, and
Give me.
that's true. That's 100% true. I mean, we've gotten to the point now where we feel we have to represent everybody, and we
Mhm.
don't. I mean, look at it like this:
Well, it should happen
gay,
organically. It should happen
look
anyway.
at right. It should just happen naturally. Like, look at it like this: gay people been watching shows about straight people for years. I
Yeah.
mean, the beach.
Yeah.
So it's like okay, they've been watching them for years, but they haven't felt, I mean, left out. If you want to do that, then you make a show. Then you reverse the show. You make a show about if you want the lead to be gay, then you make the show like that,
Right.
and you make the story, rewrite your whole story, and make the lead character gay. I mean,
Right.
come on,
Right.
why must we ruin everything else because we just want to represent
Yeah.
people?
Don't take stuff that's already made and make it gay or make it this or make it that. Make something from the ground up that
Right, and we can appreciate.
represents you as a writer. If there's more writers of color now. There's more gay writers, different kinds of people that are actually creators of this content. I think that's all we need. If you're a creator of this content and you're a person of color, or you're a female, or you're a homosexual, or whatever it is, you're going to write stuff that relates to you. Whether the characters are white, black, male, female, gay, straight is irrelevant, because if you're writing it from your point of view, that's all that really matters. If you're,
So
what I'm
it's gonna
saying?
matter.
So you're going to naturally write it from your perspective. And that's what we need. We need it written from the perspective of different minds, not just white males. And that's happening now. But don't lose the fact that you are a gay person, you are a woman, you are a person of color. So you don't have to put a sign on that says it or write only about it. Just write anything that you want to write about, and it's coming from you. You're a person of color. Whatever you write, maybe you write a medieval fantasy that takes place in England. Cool, do that. Maybe you wrote a Viking epic or whatever. It's all white people. That's fine, because you're writing it, you're creating it, and you make it realistic. I mean, every person of color or black person doesn't have to write a story about Africa. Every every Asian person does not have to do manga. It's not, do whatever you want. Um,
Well, writers
so
were doing that until now. I mean,
yeah,
the writer of the Three Musketeers was black, I believe. um,
yeah,
but he did write. Yeah. So I mean, it's just writers now. People want to take yourself out of the equation. All writers, just take yourself. Just write a good story. Doesn't matter, what it is. We
hmm
just like good stories. I mean, good do-die stories. That's what we want. That's what we keep asking for. But we ask for that, we get, oh, this, and then like I don't know, like it's just going too far because it, like you said, it takes away from the story. Makes me not care about the characters.
yeah,
If I don't care about the characters, I don't care about the story.
right. And so, uh, attempting to quell the fears of many Lord of the Rings fans, against the Rings of Power show, actor Charles Edwards has assured that the upcoming series does not stray from the tone of J.A.R. Tolkien's beloved series, but rather has dutifully achieved it. Edwards is, set to portray Celebrimor in the adaptation. Um, which in Amazon's adaptation of Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit books, respective appendices, provided his opinion on the production's quality during an interview with fandom centered around his upcoming take on the elven blacksmith, Celebrimor. Renowned as Middle Earth's greatest craftsman, Celebrimor is mentioned only a few times throughout Tolkien's ancillary The Lord of the Rings material. And while these moments never provide him with a fully developed character, they do provide a brief outline of the man responsible for forging for series eponymous rings. So he's, this is the guy that makes the rings. And so he's a very important character that we haven't learned about. It's just like Darth Plagueis, right? Very important character, created uh the Emperor from Star Wars, gave him his idea that helped him manipulate Anakin, whatever. But we just hear his name once. But there's a whole novel about him that's phenomenal, and learning all about him is really fun. And so that's what we're getting here. We're getting like characters that were just mentioned. But like I said, if you're a hardcore fan of this stuff and you've been reading the books, you're gonna hear these names and be like, oh fuck yeah. So that's, I think, it's not going to be about stuff we have already seen or heard, and that's a good thing. That's in the peoples of Middle Earth, the 12th volume of the history of Middle Earth's the Middle Earth legendarium. Tolkien's son Christopher wrote that of Celebrimor. Fucking, his father said that he was a heroic defender of Aragon in the Second Age War against Sauron, was a Teller, one of the three Teleri who accompanied Celeborn into exile. He was a great silversmith and went on to Eregion, attracted by the rumors of the marvelous metal found in Moria, the Moria silver, that the dwarves were mining, which gave the name Mithril, right? The impenetrable, like that's Mithril is like the vibranium of Lord of the Rings or adamantium. And in the working of his late of this, he became a rival of the dwarves, or rather an equal, for there was great friendship between the dwarves of Moria and Celebrimbor, and they shared their skills and craft secrets in the same way Tegilibor, these names are beautiful, was used for one skilled in calligraphy. But this show, it's all from like I said, man, like the auxiliary stuff. In Appendix B to Lord of the Rings, Tolkien notes that Celebrimbor later becomes Lord of Eregion and the greatest of their craftsmen, as well as the fact that descended from Fëanor. Right? According to a timeline of the Second Age featured in the appendix, when Sauron places the One Ring on his finger for the first time after infiltrating Orodriun under the guise of Anatar and manipulating the Gwaithemeridian craftsman into helping him forge the Rings of Power, Celebrimbor is one of the first who perceives the designs of Sauron, or peeps him. Right? He's the first one that peeps what Sauron is really up to. And out of caution for Sauron's sort of machinations, as noted in the history of Galadriel and Celeborn, Celebrimbor responds by sending the 3 rings of the elves, which, as noted in the Silmarillion, were forged by Celebrimbor alone, far away from Eregion. Enraged by this act of defiance, the Dark Lord Sauron proceeds to capture Celebrimbor and torture him for information on the remaining rings' location, an act which eventually results in the craftsman revealing where the 7 were bestowed. Yeah, so I mean, it's cool shit. It's like all the shit that we never saw, but imagined. Tolkien says, this Celebrimbor revealed because neither the 7 nor the 9 did he value as he valued the 3. So saying he doesn't care as much about the 7 rings for the dwarves or the 9 rings for the men as he does about the 3 rings for the dwarves, or for the elves. Sorry.
For the elves.
Yeah.
Because the 3 rings for the elves were kind of powerful.
Yeah.
And those rings could actually be used against them if the wearer, because they weren't used to enslave. He pretty much figured he could use, like, the elves would either side with him or they would just stay out of it. But those rings were powerful. Gandalf had one of the rings. He had, I think, the Ring of Fire. He had the fire ring. He actually used it. That's what he used to slay the Balrog when he fell in the pit with the Balrog. That's why he kept saying, if you peep what he says, when he says, I'm protector of the flame, and when you look at and that ring also could influence, that ring also had influence, but it needed fire in order to activate its power. So the rings were powerless unless they had the element in order to make them work.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, you notice when he was in when they were doing when he first the Hobbit, when he was talking to Thorin. And remember when he lit his pipe and he kept smoking his pipe and they showed the ring on his finger and the embers would light up. It was actually power in the ring, making Gandalf able to influence him. The ring had the power of influence.
Yeah.
And as he would talk to him, you ever notice how Gandalf always was able to influence them? He was, when he was talking to Thorin, he was just like, we should go to the mountain. And remember, Thorin was like, no. He was like, no, we can't go there. Why would we go there? That's the desolation of small. Why would we go there? We're never going there. And then when Gandalf activated the ring and he started smoking the pipe, notice how he looked confused. And then he was like, well, maybe we could if we did this and we did. And then see how Gandalf just kept saying, maybe. And then he kept blowing the smoke at him. He kept talking to him. He was actually using the power of the ring to conveniently influence him to do what he wanted to do. And if you notice throughout the whole Lord of the Rings series, that's what Gandalf did. He influenced them. He never made them do anything. He just made them think that they could do it, and that's why they did it. But he never told anybody to do anything. He always just quietly influenced people to do things. That's why in the second movie, when the guy was like, "Yo, if the wizard comes, don't let him speak. Whatever you do, do not let him talk." And
Yeah,
that's
because
why.
they cast spells
Right.
with
But he also knew Gandalf had to, right, because of Sauron. I mean, Saruman told him, he told that guy like, look, like he has a ring that can help him influence people,
but they
and
don't
that's
say
why he
any of
told
this
him
in the
that.
movie. They don't show none of
No,
this.
they just hint at it. They hint at it. I never
But
got
you
it until
wouldn't
I
know
went
about
back.
it.
Right. I never got it till I went back and read the books.
Yeah, you
And
won't
then
know
when I
about
started
it if
looking
you
over
don't
the
read the book.
books, right, and then I looked at the movie, I was like, oh, that's why Gandalf. I was like, okay, like now I got it. Like I was like, oh, okay,
Well,
now I get it.
the 7 and the 9 were made with Sauron's aid, whereas the 3 rings were made by Celeborn alone with a different power and purpose. And that's why and accepting that he could learn no more from the elf, uh, Sauron proceeds to kill him. Thereafter, changing into subsequent battles, bearing as a banner of Celeborn's body hung upon a pole, as quoted in the book. And then published on June 28th, the interview began with Edward speaking to Celebrimbor's role in the series and explaining to Fandom UK editor Kim T. Foster, Taylor Foster, he's the Lord of Aragon. He's been, and being a lord is something akin to royalty, which is very close to Khazad Dûm. He's actively trying to turn Ergrion into a place of excellence, said the actor, and he is working with the dwarves towards that end to try and capitalize on their talents and their creativity. I think I have. Let me see. Oh no, there's something else. Okay, but we still gonna look at that. Okay. Yeah. So, but what I guess what he's saying is that you know, not to worry that this show is very in line with Tolkien's vibe.
That's what
He
he
said,
said.
yeah, he said in
You
our
know,
story, Celebrimbor encourages and assists Elrond to visit Khazad-dûm and to court
right,
the dwarves. And I can't wait to see Elrond in action, because he's a big operator in the books, and he may have an ulterior motive for that, but Celebrimbor is very much in support of working together. Neither race would have produced the wonders that they created without the aid of each other. So
right.
clearly, we're in a time of peace, certainly in terms of a working relationship, and he has great respect for them. He said, and dwarves have a reputation as being fanatical workers and jewelers and crafters, and Celebrimbor very much respects that. Um,
Now also, those rings that Sauron gave the dwarves, they didn't enslave them. They actually enhanced their abilities. Hopefully they talk about that as well, because a lot of people will ask the question, well, if the dwarves got rings, how come they weren't like the men? How come they weren't? How come they weren't Nazgul? How come they didn't? But they just never had an effect on the dwarves. The
mhm,
elven rings were made as rings, like you said, they were made for a different purpose, but they all were made as like sort of a protection. But they couldn't combine the powers of them all together, so they were made separate. But they all were given to people in certain realms of power to use prospectively.
right.
I know of three. Let's see. Gandalf had one. The Elf Queen had one. What's your name's father? Actually, what was the elf girl's name that was in love with Aragorn? Her father had one. He
Eowyn.
had one of them. Yeah, Aragorn. He had a ring, and I don't know where the other ones were. I don't know who had the other ones, but I know those three. I know those three were in the movie. Those three rings are in the movie. Those three had rings.
Hmm.
But as far as who else had them, the other was it three or was it five Elven rings?
3. The,
Three.
the
Yeah,
three, the
those were
three
the
are the
three.
elf rings. Yeah.
Yeah, those were the three. Gandalf, the Elven Queen, and the one dude that was telling the Isildur to throw the ring into the fire. He had
Hmm.
one. Those were the only three. That's why they were able to live so long, and that's why they were able to transcend, because he used the power of the ring to do that. And that's when he took
Well,
Boom, 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 boom.
the elves have naturally long lives anyway. They already live thousands of years.
Right. But when the age of there was supposed to be like, I don't know. Tolkien explains it like after a certain age they were supposed to just leave, and the ring is what kept them here. Like the ring that he used was like because the other elves were gone. You only had the woodland elves, and
Well,
I forget what the other ones. They were
he means
there was only two tribes left.
he means that it kept them there because they wanted to destroy it. Like they knew that as long as that ring existed, Middle Earth
Right.
wasn't safe. But once they destroyed it, they could dip. They could go to America because
They
that
go to
shit is
America.
it's America, bro. Tolkien was
Stupid.
everything was a
Go
goddamn
to America.
everything was a what do you call it, analogy and a
They
metaphor.
took
But
the boat. They took the
yeah,
boat to America.
that was it. Because Middle Earth is Europe, and that was his whole thing. It was all World War II analogies. The whole thing, and America was that outside of the map, across the ocean. But some of the like this is Galadriel. She's gonna be young and active as a warrior. Um, you've got this guy, Latino actor who's playing Anandor. Couple of scenes there. He is there with the broad, and this is that's Celebrimore, and the woman he's with, I'm not sure. I know that's Galadriel again. This is Celebrimore again, old elven fool, and there he is again. Looks like Celebrimore encourages and assists Elrond, so that's Elrond right there on the right, and that's Gala blah blah
Khazad-dûm.
Celebrimore on the left. Yeah, Khazad-dûm. Um, this is wait, I don't know who that is. That is Sophia Namvante as Princess Dysa in the Lord of the Rings. Da, da, da. Yeah, so people have a problem with the fact that there's Black and Latino characters in the Lord of the Rings story, and they're not orcs. You know, and I personally don't find a problem with that, not in the slightest. So that's I don't think that's not gonna bother her at all. Um, turning to how the series would flesh out the character of Celebrimore based on his aforementioned sporadic mentions, in the appendices, he said, "What we are spoiled with in this enterprise, particularly in my case, is that Celebrimore is mentioned in the Lord of the Rings as the forger of the rings. Briefly, he's not a footnote, but he's a side note." He said, "The other source for our shows is the appendices for Lord of the Rings, in which Tolkien makes lots of notes and ideas about characters that aren't quite set in stone. Tolkien had 2 or 3 versions of Celebrimore, none of which he settled on. There's actually a little note scrawled in a margin by Tolkien saying, 'Not sure about this, should have changed it,' or something along those lines. In order to start building a character, that's very exciting. There's a blueprint, but there hasn't been any coloring in, and it's down to me and everyone else to create him, and that has been really exciting. So considering the 2 or 3 versions that Tolkien had of the character, which in themselves differ from each other, our version is a composite," he affirmed, and then a little bit more. So who knows what that little bit more is, but to this end, Edwards elaborated that he's reached a point in our story in his existence where he is starting to doubt himself. And I think what drives him is his manic obsessive desire to create. He said, above and beyond what he's already created, he wants to surpass all that has gone before because he's reached this juncture and starts to doubt himself and his validity. I don't think that he's autistic, bro. Does he have OCD? Maybe. But autistic and OCD is very different things. Very, very different things. So borderline on. Yeah, I don't think they're going on spectrum with this one, but he's a little bit obsessed with perfection. He's a perfectionist, and he'll maybe have OCD when it comes to you know, creating, whatever he's working on. But yeah, I mean, you know, did Tolkien have in mind black people and Latino people when he created these characters? Probably not. But who cares? Um, if he was writing it nowadays, I guarantee he would have. You see what I'm saying? Because back then, there wasn't a lot of. I mean, there was no internet. There wasn't even TV. So, like, if you didn't see a person with your eyeballs, you didn't see people. So, experiencing other cultures and other races and stuff back then was probably slim to none. I mean, unless you like went to the military or something, you really never got to experience other cultures like we do now. Like it's so second nature to now. So you got to look at it along those lines. He was writing it, but he didn't intend it to because for any racist reasons, right? He wasn't being racist about it like these people. He just was writing what he knew. Had he been writing it in this day and age, of course he would. Just like just like the Game of Thrones, right? Game of Thrones written with many races and cultures, in mind. Lots of different parts of the world, different kinds of people in those different parts of the world because J.R.R. Martin, George Martin rather, lives in our time. So he, is more familiar with other cultures and races. So for him to put them in would just only be common sense. And I believe that Tolkien absolutely would have done that was he writing it in our time. So rewriting his stuff in our time, it only makes sense. It would be weird not to include other races and cultures because it's a world, and in the world there are different races and cultures. I mean, come on. So, he wrote about different races and cultures. He just called them dwarves and elves and hobbits and, whatever. But in his mind, that's what he was creating. So if he was, in more of I mean, I don't know, does that make sense? Do you think that if he was writing it in this day and age, having more experience or worldly,
I don't think he cared. I just don't think he cared. I think he just wrote a story. It was good, and
right?
that's how he looked at it. I really don't think he really. I mean, nowadays you got everybody want to put race and color, creed, and
But I mean,
sexuality
look
into
at second nature. You're
writing.
writing a book about a world. Of course, there's different kinds of people.
I mean, yeah. In this book, he never describes what they. He never like says, "Well, this is
Right,
a white man from Scotland," or
right,
this is a Scottish cat. He doesn't say it. He just
right.
writes the story. Like
Yeah.
you could have made
So
that movie
any human man
if
could
you
be
listen. You could have made that movie and made Aragorn black because he
mhm.
never says that he was or he wasn't.
Yeah,
So
any
he
of the
doesn't.
human men could be any color.
Any color, right? He doesn't say what color. He doesn't specify any of that.
I think he
The
does
only thing,
describe the elves as being pale skinned or white skinned or
right?
whatever. But yeah,
But normally that's how they've been depicted in D&D and everywhere. They always been depicted as having like a pale, not like a Caucasian, just like a pale
no,
white
not
skin.
Caucasian, just like really
Yeah,
white.
it's
Like
pale
yeah,
white, like really white. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So I don't think what does it say? What is it? Autistic guy as well, OCD, stealing his mom's nail varnish. What? What? Did he steal his mom's nail varnish? What are we
I
talking
have
about?
no idea.
The Boys. How about The Boys, episode 7? Did you catch it?
I haven't watched it. Nope, not yet.
Mm,
Haven't had time.
yeah,
I'm
real
definitely gonna watch it this week. I'm definitely gonna binge watch The Boys this week.
good shit.
Uh,
Real good shit.
Actually, I'm gonna do it tomorrow because tomorrow I'm doing laundry and I'm gonna watch a lot of TV because I'm gonna be trapped doing laundry all day. So when I do laundry, I watch a lot of TV. Normally
Mm,
it's football, but football season night. So tomorrow I'm going to binge watch The Boys all the way up to the latest episode or whatever. But I'm going to be up early. I'm going to watch The Boys. And there was something else I wanted to finish watching too. I want to watch that, and I'll probably be all caught up by Monday's show. By the time we get to Monday show, I'll be caught up on that. But like I said, I normally watch the boys really to see how it unfolds. To see the, more. I just like to see the difference between the comic and the show. But I do
Yeah.
like the show. I do like it. I can't,
Mhm.
my main purpose of watching it is to see the subtle differences between the two, or
Yeah, I'm liking
not
it
so
better.
subtle. Yeah.
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 Well, speaking of not so subtle, our cuckoo bird Ezra Miller is back at it again. A fucking guy. Uh, Recently landed in hot water again as an Iceland woman just came forward and blamed the actor for choking her at a pub in 2020.
Yeah, I read
Speaking,
that.
yeah,
I was just like, it
speaking,
just goes on and on.
it does. It's again and again. It's like more. Uh, she said that she recalled Miller inquiring to Ezra Miller about the wounds on his feet, and he explained that they were battle scars from a fight. And she said, "I could take you in a fight." And then both decided to meet outside the bar. The woman said that she was in a light mood. However, the 27-year-old came all charged up. I think it's fun and games, but then it wasn't, she recounted, adding, all of a sudden, he's on top of me, choking me, still screaming in my face if I want to fight. The woman also alleged that Miller spat on her multiple times. Meanwhile, another woman from Nadia, Germany, told Outlet that Miller came to her apartment early this year after 2 years of friendship via text messages. When she asked Miller to leave for about 20 times, he began insulting her and even called her a transphobic piece of shit. So, yeah, you just show up at people's crib, like, I don't know, dude. If I knew somebody just via text, I'm not showing up at their crib. That's kind of weird. That's, I mean,
No,
but
I'm not
Ezra,
either.
it's
Yeah, I'm
Ezra.
not either. Yeah, you can keep that. I'm not sure about that.
But Warner Brothers is still standing by him. Despite increasing allegations, Warner Brothers is
Because
staying committed.
they have to, Because
I
look,
know, I know.
if they get rid of him, and they denounce him, they
Yeah, if
can't
they
put this movie
denounce,
out.
right,
Yeah, they
if they
can't
if
put this
they
movie out.
agree with him being a
Yeah.
scumbag, they can't put the movie out, and so they have to support him and act like they stand behind him and all of that because they
Or
look,
just act, or just say nothing, like they've been doing. They're just not saying anything because
they're
like you
saying
said, if
something.
they, yeah, but it ain't nothing we want to hear. Like I
No,
said,
they're
yeah, they
saying stuff
just
on behalf of him, like, "I stand behind him," they're saying shit like that.
they have to. They
Crazy.
spent money on Ezra
I
Miller,
know,
and they got to recoup that. I
I
mean,
know.
they just need to release this movie straight to DVD and streaming services, and just and just go with a new Flash, make a new Flash movie, but make it a really really good one to where you can redeem the Flash
Mhm.
name. You got a new Flash, and everybody's happy. But if they don't, they're making a big mistake.
Yeah, right now
But
they still have Flash on their major release calendar for June 2023. Whether any of these accusations turn into something more or whether or not the film does come out remains to be seen. But I think they're hoping that none of these allegations develop into charges and things like that. And, before the movie comes out, they need to go on and put the shit out now before that shit pops off. Uh, But, it,
yeah, they're not gonna do it. It's not gonna happen now.
no,
I know you want. I know you like. Yeah, put it out now. Let me see it, and then let's just. Nah, they're not
I
gonna
want to
do it.
see it.
We all do, but they're not gonna
I
do
want to
it.
see
They're
it.
not
I want
gonna
to
do
see
it.
Thomas Wayne.
They're not
Couldn't
gonna
care
do
less
it.
about that. I want to see Eobard Thawne. I want to see Thomas Wayne.
It's not gonna happen right now. And the movie might be decent. Might be a decent movie, but it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
What's not gonna happen?
But plus they're going through that merge with Discovery, and really it might come out earlier because once they
Oh, it's not.
merge with Discovery,
It'll
yeah,
come
once
out.
they do that, yeah, once they do that merger, Discovery might say, look, just put that out earlier. We're
Yeah,
in charge now.
get
Scrap
it out.
Ezra Miller. Man, let's just get a new. Matter of fact, let's just do a movie about Thomas Wayne, and
Yeah,
let's just keep him.
that's what we want. That's what we want. We just want a movie about Thomas Wayne. Ezra Miller got some type of Hollywood put that allows him to dodge it. Well, yeah, he does have Hollywood pull. It's called Warner Brothers pulling strings for him to keep him out of trouble, keep him from being caught, to keep the charges from developing, to keep their movie from getting crushed. Because they got to put it out or they lose billions. But G.I. Joe Classified is putting out a his tank, baby.
Mm.
It is all
About
of glory.
damn time.
Listen,
About damn time.
it's HasLab. It's gonna run you about $300, but look at what it had. Look, it has a projector. It projects the Cobra symbol on the floor in front of it. It's
Yeah,
got
but
light up inside interior. It comes with a 7-inch figure, the Hiss driver. So I'm excited about that. That's fucking epic. Um, this is a cool piece. This is a really cool piece. It is a HasLab, so yeah.
but it'll set you back about 300 smackers.
It's gonna set you back. The tank wheels move. You can see on the side that there's a little hole right above the tread there in the back where they will stick in some like rocket launchers. They've got HasLab, the sort of Kickstarter has got levels, and if they get another certain number of people, they're gonna add another addition onto it. There's a few pieces they want to add onto it. But already as it stands, the back hatch opens up, and there's a little troop carrier interior in the back part where you can sit another 7-inch figure. There's a gun rack on the other wall inside there. It's really cool looking. The gun turret on top.
Well, if you want to get it for cheap, you better get on Kickstarter and make some donations. That's all I can tell you. That'd be the best. Yeah, you can get it for cheap. Yeah, once it comes out, you gotta pay full price.
You gonna be
get
paying
on Kickstarter.
Somebody gonna sell it.
Yeah, you get on Kickstarter and you get some donations in there. You'll be able to get one. You're guaranteed to get one, and you'll get one for cheap.
Yeah, you get it for 300. Just put your 300 in, you'll get one. But yeah, if you don't put the 300 in now, you're gonna spend 1,000 for it later. But I mean, really cool interior. I've got the Hiss tank, but it's for the 375. I got the small Hiss tank, the little joint. So size difference. Look at the size difference. So here, I'll grab you a great comparison. So you got the Hiss tank, and that's Destro right there inside the turret. And that's the 3.7-inch figure one. But look at the difference in size of the figure. See how big Destro is in the 7-inch? So the Hiss tank is going to be for this guy. So imagine
it's going to be pretty big.
Yeah, it's pretty big. Yeah, it's going to be massive. So that's cool. Thought that was pretty neat. Yo, this kid creates a Batman Beyond outfit that's pretty impressive. A kid created this. Look at that. Look at the detail. I mean, just look at everything. It's nuts. Look at the back of the helmet, the back piece. I mean, that's really. I mean, how did you make that, dude?
3D printers, bro.
Gotta be.
Wow. Damn.
That's pretty bad. I mean, yeah, it's like his movie is film quality. Really, that's pretty film quality.
I mean, listen. A lot of people say you should hire these cosplayers to make costumes for movies. If you put them in a professional studio in Hollywood
with some equipment,
resources, with the resources they have, if you let them we can get some good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
But that is phenomenal. That is definitely phenomenal.
The love sausage. You got Method Man is working on a new album with his son, Sha. Yeah.
I'm not excited about it. I'm really not, man.
No?
Nah, I'm not, man. Meth, listen, I love Meth, man. I do. But it's time for Meth to hook up with a real hip hop producer, man. I mean, not in a bad, not saying it in a bad way, but it's time.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
With somebody like Muggs, Premier, something like it's been like he should have been hooked up with somebody like that. I don't know. I mean, every Method Man album, you can ask every Method Man fan. It's either hit or miss or something
Yeah.
in between that you
Oh
shaking your
yeah.
head like, damn, Meth, like, what's going on, bro?
Yeah.
Like, it's that's just what it is. I mean, he's making an album with his son. I applaud his effort. I'm down. I'm gonna listen to it. I'm definitely going to preview it. And I'm definitely going to hear it. But
Mhm.
am I excited about it? No. Is it big news to me? Mm-mm. When it comes out, I'm going to listen. I'll give you my honest opinion on it.
Yeah.
But Method Man albums on a whole, Tikal was good. Everything after that was just, I don't know, it was either left or straight right. They hooked
Yeah.
up with meth.
Yeah.
I mean, he hooked up
His
with
albums
Red.
have
That was
been not.
good.
Yeah.
Nah, they haven't been that great. So,
The
you know,
the massacre, Wu massacre with him, Ray, and Ghost was awesome. But yeah, he doesn't. His solo albums have just been hit or miss, mostly miss. But his
yeah.
son's 26. Power is 26 years old, part of the second generation Wu Tang group with Young Dirty Bastard, son of the late ODB, as well as Ghostface's son, Sun God, and You God's son, Entel. And I've liked the two songs from them I've heard. I thought were phenomenal, and the one Method Man came in on was just bananas to me. Um, uh, he said, uh, a bio on the group's site says of Power, for a while, music was put on the back burner for his passion of playing football, going to college in Troy, New York, to play junior college ball. It was up there in a dark dorm room. He fell in love with hip hop again more than ever. Method Man had worked with the group on the remix Next Generation, which was one of my favorite of the songs. And he said, it's dope to work with my pops. It's like a dream come true, to be honest. Not many up and coming artists can say they worked with a hip hop legend like Method Man. That's true. Ghostface, Meth, Jizza, and Inspector Deck of Wu performed at the party before Nas took the stage to play his hits. But yeah, they, I mean, I understand what you're saying. It's not like it's a new Meth album, you know, with, with Premiere and all these great producers, like that would be cool. Um, but I think it's cool that he's doing a album with his son, and I
or
think it's cool
Apollo
that
Brown.
he's showing that Meth is super versatile, bro. He's been able to go with the youngest of the newest MCs, match their styles, and do better than them. And
Man, it's Meth's always been better than them. I don't give a damn what nobody says. Meth's always been better than them. I mean, it doesn't matter. Listen, I don't care what artist you put up against Meth right now. Meth pretty much get on the track and murder
he'll
it right
body
along
it,
with him. Yeah, he'll body the track and he'll body. You know what I'm saying? But
body any MC
I
you
think
put.
I think Meth should seek out. If I was Meth, I would get on the phone and call Apollo Brown and be like, "Yo, I need like 13 bangers," and
Apollo
I
Brown.
would go up to I would go up to Detroit, and I would get with. Then I would fly out see Muggs. Then I would go back. I would come back to the East Coast, go see Premier, and none of these guys would tell him no. None of them would be like, "Nah, Meth, I can't." They all be like, "What? Let's get it. Like, let's do it." You know, he just. I guess he, being from the Wu, RZA doesn't sample much anymore.
I'm
Uh,
sure he has reasons, but I mean, he is
nah, he
he's
his
on
reason
his acting career.
his reason is he claims he forgot about it. He started bringing in bands and doing live music, and he started working with that. And when True Master did the last production on
Man,
the
I mean,
last Wu album,
Method Man's reason, because Meth is focusing a lot on his acting career, lately. He's
which is
not really.
cool, bro.
I mean,
It's
you
cool.
got it's more than cool. It's smart because he's 50, what, 51 years old now. Like you know, what do
About
you
that,
call
yeah.
it? Yeah, you ain't gonna be, you know, hip hopping on stage too much longer. You got to have something to fall back on, and if you can fall back on a dope acting career, it ain't nothing better. That'd be the best.
I mean,
If they give him Bishop,
Meth also has he's the movies he's acting, he's done well. I got to take my hat off to
Mm-hmm.
him. I can't say anything bad about meth acting, man. You know what I mean?
Nah, but if they give him the MCU part, if he gets to play Bishop, it'll blow him up.
Man,
He'll
please,
be
people, people won't mess with people. People gonna lose their mind.
I'm telling you, man, that'd be the smartest thing MCU has done since making fucking Iron Man.
Yeah, that would be.
Oh, check
I
this
mean,
trailer out. Check this trailer out real quick, and then we gotta call it a show.
I want to live
They call me a savage.
whether I'm right.
Is that who I am?
I won't give up this dream of life that keeps me alive.
Yeah. No.
For somebody else, if I'm not right for me, I gotta be free. I just gotta be free.
You need to embrace your villainy.
Now I'm really gonna have some fun.
Not the ear bite. You see the ear bite?
yeah, come on, that's Mike.
That was
That's Mike.
Harvey Keitel as Customato. I think is gonna be really cool. But who knows how that's gonna end up being. It's a Hulu production. The actor that's playing Mike, I gotta see because I don't know. Looks like it could be hit or miss. That one could be really cheap and really whack, or it could end up being cool and learn some shit we didn't know before. So we
We'll
have to
see.
see. That'll be in
We'll
August.
see. So all we can say is we'll see. And I like Mike, man. That's my man. I like Mike.
Oh yeah, fuck
Greatest
with Mike,
heavyweight,
dude.
greatest heavyweight ever lived.
Hip hop,
Yeah, second
greatest
greatest
heavyweight
heavyweight
ever
ever.
lived.
Actually,
Second
I
greatest.
put him at a tie. I put him at a tie with Ali. I put him at a tie.
Really? Nah, fuck
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, we can get into that
I
another
mean,
time. Tyson
well, you
had
gotta look
power, but as far as skill,
as far as boxing skills,
Ali, bro.
look at it like this. Mike Tyson did one thing that no other boxer has ever done. No, and I don't care who they are that held the title.
Heavyweight champ
It's-
at the youngest age.
Nope.
He
He
did do
never
that.
refused to. He never refused to fight. He never refused to fight. There's no fight Mike ever refused. He never refused. As champ, Mike never refused to fight. That's what makes him. That's what makes him tied with Ali. That's what makes him tied with Ali. That's why. That's why I give him the
I
tie
can't
with
get
Ali.
it. I can't retort because we'll get into a big thing and we got to call it a show. We already went over a little 30 minutes. I know you got to get to work, but I would love to have this conversation with you. We'll do it Monday maybe.
Yes, we will.
Yeah, guys. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching the show. If you came in late, please go watch the replay of it. Please leave us a comment down in the comment section, whether you chatted in the chat or not. We really appreciate the comments. You can say anything, but let us know what you think about the power of the rings of power.
Thumbs up.
Gotta hit that like button. If you don't like it, hit the like button twice. But yeah, so check me out on Instagram tonight. I'm gonna try to get on there tonight and slang some books. In fact, I might be selling most of my personal collection tonight. Gotta out with the old, in with the new, see what's up. So check me out on Instagram at 6_element_comics, where I will be selling pretty much everything.
So you're doing a gym mint. You're doing a gym mint, huh? Doing a gym mint here.
Yeah,
he did say that, man. If you look at his collection now, I was on his show the other day, rapping with him a little bit. He What you had in the background is what he used to have.
Yeah.
Now it's all literally omnibuses
Mm-hmm.
and his favorite statues. That's
Yep.
it. He got rid of all the little stuff, all the
Yep. And you got
everything
no
is.
more
He said it.
comics. Yeah.
Now he said he kept everything. He's just all omnibuses, nothing but
Mm-hmm.
omnibuses.
Yeah.
But he did say one thing: they take up less space.
Yeah.
That's the one
Yeah.
thing. That's the one thing I can honestly say. He kept iterating. He said, "Now they take up way less space."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. They definitely do. Yeah. Because he would have boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes of comics if he had all that Omni shit in comics. Nobody would ever buy all that anyway. But yeah, he's definitely the Omni King. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing, man. So check me on Instagram, buy all my comics, and we'll be back Monday, 6:30. Every Monday, every Wednesday, every Saturday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Catch us on the tube. And that's our show, y'all. We'll see you guys Monday. Peace.
peace.